What's going on, guys? My name's Chris, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new Jeep Gladiator. This is the Sport Edition, so it's basically the bottom of the barrel. We're used to seeing, the more high-end specs of this car reviewed on YouTube, so I figured, why don't we do something different? Let's try something that's maybe not as popular, and just see how that goes. This is not my car. This is actually a loaner. So, first impressions of the Gladiator. You sit very tall. It looks a lot like a Wrangler with a truck, for the bed. It's about the size of an F-150, even though the proportions look a little bit odd, a little bit strange, because it is slightly taller. You have a 3.6-liter V6 powering the car, making about 280 horsepower with about 260 foot-pounds of torque. Peak torque happens at roughly around 6,000 RPM. Red line is at about 6,500. This car isn't really meant for speeding or doing anything too crazy. It's more meant for off-roading. This one does have the optional four-wheel drive system, so it does partial two-wheel drive for the most part. It's probably for city driving and stuff like that. And you can put it into four-wheel drive when you do decide to go off-road. You have about 10 inches of clearance in the front, and that allows you to rock crawl and do a bunch of other fun stuff. So I have here a couple of specs on the car here. The 2020 Jeep Gladiator MSRP starts at about $33,545. That is with the optional 6-speed manual transmission. The one that we are testing today has the 8-speed automatic, and those range at about $35,000. The towing capacity is about 4,000 pounds, so it's not bad. You can still tow most things that you're going to be carrying. Your combined mile per gallon, you're looking at about 17 city, 22 highway, and about a combined of about 20 miles per gallon. The weight is about 4,650 pounds, so it is a heavy car, incredibly heavy. You actually do feel it when you're driving, but it feels safe. Doesn't feel anything too crazy. I know Jeeps get a bad rap for not being the safest vehicles. They tend to flip over a lot. Haven't done any crazy driving in this yet, so wheelbase length is about 137 inches. Length is about 218 inches. Width is 73.8 inches. That's not including the mirrors, the fold-out mirrors. Clearance is about 10 inches high. Bed is about 60 inches as well. And one of the coolest things about this car is that you actually have removable body panels. So you can actually take off the doors, take off the roof, etc., etc. It is a Jeep. You do get a couple of ports for your media and for your auxiliaries. So once you start building your car for off-road, you can put if you're looking to put light bars, tow winches, GoPros or external GoPros and stuff like that outside. You have all that available here with some buttons. The infotainment center is one of the best infotainment centers on the market. It's actually Dodge's very own award-winning infotainment system, so it's very highly recommended. It's won a lot of awards, and it's incredibly easy to use. Right out of the box, you'll know how to use it. If you're familiar with any type of technology, it's relatively easy. I feel like even old people can use this. Boomers will especially love how easy it is, and anyone else who's ever dealt with a cell phone will be able to pick it up quite easily. Instrument cluster here, so it's very customizable. It'll let you know what setting you are in as far as the 2 high, 4 high, neutral, and 4 low. It's for your off-roading purposes down there. And there's your speedometer. You still get the regular instrument cluster as well as a digital display. Mopar does a lot of these in their newer vehicles here. Everything is pretty customizable, so you can enter screen setup here, and you have all these options to go ahead and make it, personalized to your liking. Again, this isn't my vehicle, so I'm not going to be spending too much time going through that, because I'm not going to be driving this car for very long. But just wanted to give you guys a little look. This is the steering wheel here. Here are your controls as well. Everything is very well made. It doesn't feel super cheap, actually. For $30,000, you are getting a pretty quality vehicle. Other than maybe these interior seats, they're made out of cloth. They're quite ugly, I'm not going to lie, and they look like they will stain pretty fast. You have your speakers up on the roof here, so if you want to take the roof off or go through have it prepared for summer, you are able to do that. Let's see. Like I mentioned, the roof does come off. If you take a look up here, you have to simply remove a couple of latches, pull that down, pull that out, open this one up, and boom. You can see the sky out. So that's pretty cool. It's typical Jeep for you. And to put the roof back on, it is quite simple. Just have to make sure all the holes line up properly. The car itself does offer a tectonic shifter, which does usually come in handy when you're off-roading, when you're trying to be in low gears, as well. One of the downsides of this particular model, the sport model, is that it doesn't have the locking differential. So when you are going to go off-road, you're not going to be able to lock the diffs and be able to have traction on those slipperier surfaces. We're going to do in a minute. All right, so we're going to go through a quick empty parking lot here, and it's going to be very, very simple. We're going to approach it at about 15 to 20 miles an hour here. These are some speed bumps. You can see very little to no body roll. It's almost like it's, like you're traveling on clouds here. And these are pretty speed bumps here. If you would do this with a regular car, you would definitely have some issues. I know I've gone through here before and I almost, scratched the bottom of my car trying to clear those speed bumps. You can clear it no problem here. This car is an absolute beast. Now, the car definitely drives the way that it looks, the way that it feels. The brakes are pretty good in this car, considering its size. Again, like I said, it's about 4,600 pounds. So it's, let's see, turning in is pretty smooth. We're not going very fast. This is more of like a cruiser. You're not going to really be doing too much speeding in this car. As you can see, we're doing some urban. Don't get too much road noise. Obviously, you're still going to get something because of the type of off-road tires that the cars are going to be spec'd with. So you will get some road noise with the tires. Lower speeds are not too relevant. You don't get too much cabin noise, either. So you can easily have a nice conversation without worrying about noise and other stuff like that as well. See, now parking is definitely an issue with this car because it's, like I mentioned, it's not a small vehicle. So we're gonna go and take a look and see what it's like to park in a regular parking space. Let's see here. Okay, so pretty easy to navigate into. Let's see what it's like to back up. Now we're going to be putting it into reverse. Always check your mirrors. You do, like I did mention, you do get the little camera as well. So we're just going to make it real easy. Just try to back in here. And these parking spaces are a little bit longer than normal, so you will fit good. Oh, nice. It looks like we have some sensors. I didn't even know that. Picking things up on the fly as well. We're going to do, in a minute, some more technical driving, maybe through like a small back road, just to see how well the car itself handles in tight areas and in curvy roads. Obviously not everywhere that you're going to go is going to be straight lines and plenty of space like the rest of the country, but we just want to make sure that the car is going to be able to perform for all of your daily needs. It's not just going to be a garage queen and not go out and see action. So for those of you who want to know what it's like to drive on a daily basis, this is what this video is going to be for here. There is a lot of body roll due to the suspension, so obviously if you try to drive it very aggressively, you're going to have a couple of issues. Other than that, the ride itself is very smooth. The gearbox could be a little bit better. It's a little bit clunky and it doesn't feel like it's fully there. Like it's definitely, it wasn't meant to, it was meant for off-roading. It wasn't really meant for comfort or for luxury or anything like that. It was to get you from point A to point B alive and in one piece. Let's see how it takes turns here. Not bad. I have some pretty good response from the steering wheel. It's strange, you point the steering wheel in the right direction and it will turn, but it feels like you're gonna fly off. I know you guys can't see it right now, but we have caught up to a first-gen Raptor, and we're gonna be on its tail. Those Raptors will definitely blow the smoke out of this car here. It's definitely more well-equipped for off-roading and all that fun stuff. But today we are going to see what 35 grand can buy you if you're trying to look for a fun weekend vehicle to get away and go camping and do some exploring and some good outdoors fun. So the road we're on, it's a little bit tight, a little bit technical. Nothing too crazy here. Definitely a good road for smaller, more compact vehicles, sportier vehicles. You do carry a lot of momentum through these turns, so having a good brake setup is obviously crucial here. Stock brakes are doing well. We're not really going too fast here, so not much to worry about. Let's see where our friends are going here. We're going to make them right here. I'm going to try to go and get on a canyon road to see how that feels like and see how the car responds to turns and stuff like that. Again, like I mentioned, the transmission itself, not the best. It's trying its hardest to, push this car, this heavy car up this hill here. And let's see. Acceleration is good. It is a naturally aspirated V6, a 3.6 liter V6 with 260 foot-pounds of torque, 280 horsepower. It's definitely, it feels like it's enough power to keep this car moving. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a very sporty car. You're not going to really be winning any roll races with it, but for what it was built for and for its intended purposes, it'll definitely be enough to handle that situation there. Almost like a pedestrian. Holy shit. I'm just trying to keep up with this Raptor here to show you don't need to spend $60,000, $70,000 to have a good time. You can do something with very base models. Obviously, these cars are meant to be modified and specified in particular matters, and not everyone's going to keep their car stock. So I feel like this would be a very good platform to enter the market at, especially if you're looking for a vehicle to have some fun camping memories, or if you're just trying to explore the outdoors, do some rock climbing, some fun off-roading. This is definitely going to be a good vehicle for it. You can beat it up, scratch it up, you won't really care. Everything inside feels like it was definitely made for off-roading. Everything does feel waterproof, water resistant, and it looks like even the floor panels have some type of draining system in case you do get water inside of the vehicle itself. The road we're on right now, it's very technical. We're doing some tight turns here. Not doing too bad with the car itself. We're maintaining this pretty decent, reasonable speed. Nothing illegal. You're not going to really be able to do any illegal speeds in this car, just because it is pretty heavy and a little unstable at high speed. So you'll probably want to keep it within the speed limits, simply because it just doesn't feel as safe or as planted as a sportier vehicle would feel. Now the road I am on is quite tight, quite technical, like I did mention, and you definitely feel that with the car. It does not feel like a small car whatsoever. We're going to have some problems here. Let me move over for this car. Oh, thank you, sir. This car is definitely a lot of fun to drive. Like I did mention, I daily a Ford Focus ST, and if you guys think I should do a review on that, let me know. Write it in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to do a little video on my car. Not too many modifications on that. I'm still working on that, but it's definitely a fun vehicle, and I've learned a lot about cars from there. So we've made it to Turnbull Canyon, to the very top. Now I want to talk about some of the benefits of this car. Like I mentioned, for $35,000, it's a really good deal. You're getting a lot of car for that money. Especially for off-roading, people who are, inclined to, camping or outdoors activities. And the cool thing about it is that for Jeep fans, you now have the truck bed. So if you're looking to move things or just use it more for like a utility purpose vehicle, you are able to do that now with this truck. Downsides to this truck, it is ugly as hell. It is not exactly the prettiest car that Jeep or Mopar have ever produced, but they did extremely well with it. It doesn't feel like its size whatsoever, and you sit very tall. It's it's probably one of the reasons why people like SUVs. I've never really been a fan of SUVs or trucks. This is actually one of the first trucks that I did find interesting. This and a Raptor. Obviously, a little bit harder to get your hands on a Raptor. Not too many people that I know can afford one, so we can get access to a Raptor someday soon. I would love to test that out for you guys, and you guys can give me some feedback on some other vehicles that I can try to get my hands on. As far as daily driving, one of the things like I did mention, one of the things I hate is just how big this car actually is. It doesn't feel like it's very big, but it is actually very big. Like I mentioned, the dimensions were quite large. It is, like I said, it is around roughly the same size as an F-150, but it feels like it's like you're driving a limousine. It doesn't feel like a compact truck or anything like that. You can definitely feel the size when you drive. You feel like you barely fit in the road, which is kind of scary, especially if you're going to be driving, through tight roads, or you're going to be stuck in traffic and you need to maneuver, from one lane of the freeway to the next. Especially here in LA, I would never drive this car in the city. Just forget about it. Do not buy this car if you're looking to have a daily driver and you work in the city. This car is definitely for the weekends, definitely for work. This is a workhorse. It isn't a pavement princess. Another thing that I hate is the wheels on this spec itself. They look very plain, and I understand because it is the sport trim, it's the entry-level trim, and some of the other higher-end trim levels will have, better interior, better options for your vehicle as well. That have obviously better tires, leather seats, they have locking differentials, other amenities for off-roading, that enthusiasts might be looking for in their vehicle. Again, this is a perfect entry-level car if you've never had a Jeep, or if you were looking to get into off-roading and you don't want to spend too much money, especially for the aftermarket. There's a lot of aftermarket stuff available for this car that will allow you to do overlanding. You can do rock crawling, stuff like that, just fun activities. I've seen a lot of crazy builds where people have put tents on the roof, or they'll build some crazy, storage units on the back so they can go, do whatever off-roading or whatever recreational activities that they enjoy. But all in all, I'm incredibly impressed by this car. I was not expecting to like it as much as I like it. Again, it absorbs everything on the road. It feels like you're kind of riding on like a slightly bumpy cloud. It's not super smooth, but for the most part, you can get over anything incredibly easily. Not the prettiest car, but hey, I mean, you're not looking at it from the outside, you're looking at it from the inside. Honestly, if you're gonna fall for anyone else's opinions, then they can go fuck themselves, basically. Cars should be an expression of what makes you happy, of what makes you enjoy driving. For some people, it's sporty cars that they can go roll race with their friends on the freeway. For others, it's people who want to have a good, memorable weekend experience or weekend getaway with their friends, family. And I feel like this is a good vehicle to start with. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video, just comment. This is my first video that I've done as far as reviewing cars. I'd like to get into it a little bit more, so if there's any vehicles that you guys might be interested in, SUVs, trucks, cars, sedans, hatchbacks, you name it, I will try to look into it and see what I can do. Again, my name is Chris. Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys have made it this far, I appreciate the support, and I look forward to bringing more content for you guys. Have a good one.